Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I got a bit of a concern now. I'm wondering, are the cruise lines beginning to let us down? So, first off, I want to separate. What I'm going to be talking about right now is not the people who work on the cruise ships. It's not the crew members, it's not the captain, it's not the people at the shore excursion desk. It's not the dining room staff. Everybody that I've met on cruise ships, all the workers and everything have done their best and gone out of their way to help no matter which ship I've been on. But I'm beginning to think that the corporate side of the cruise lines are starting to let us down. Last week, I talked about a story about the Celebrity cruise ship that they changed a ton of itineraries for Alaska. So much so that they are only spending less than 12 hours total in ports on an Alaskan cruise. And they offered a $100 onboard credit to compensate. And I said I didn't feel that was adequate. I did not feel that was the right thing to do. And I also questioned how they didn't know that barnacles had built up on their ship to the point where you couldn't sail at full speed anymore. Obviously, they didn't just magically appear overnight. And the ship has been sailing around, even though it hasn't had passengers on it. It's still has to sail. It has to go in and out of ports to refuel. It has to go out to sea to replenish the water. It has to do a lot of things. So you should have been able to see that you're not going at full speed. Well, now we have another cruise line again, and this hurts me because the two cruise lines I've just talked about, Celebrity and Princess, are probably right up there with some of my favorite ships to be on right now. Well, the Crown Princess just entered service this week, and the day before its sailing, a letter went out to the passengers on board saying that there was diesel problems on one of their systems, and because of that, they have to reduce their speed, and they canceled. I gotta get this because there's a lot to this story. So, an original letter said that they have to cancel their Ketchikan port as well, but they added Icy Strait into the itinerary. But then you would have to shorten Juneau and you would have to shorten Victoria. Okay. You're missing another port. You had mechanical issues. All right. Okay. That happens. I question that they happened the day before you're supposed to start sailing. I'm guessing you knew there were problems, but you waited until the day before when most people are traveling to get to that cruise port. And once you travel, what are you going to do? You're going to just suddenly say, oh, I guess I'm not going to go on this sailing. Let me pay for my flight home again, and let me pay for the hotel and all this, and I had my vacation booked and all, I'll just let it go and just get my cruise money back or try and change my cruise. No. You're going to go on the cruise and you're going to be upset that you're on this cruise because they've changed your itinerary quite substantially. Well, it just got worse. That's right. On the next sailing going out, they found out they had to switch it again. Guess what? Ketchikan is back on the list. Ketchikan is back on the list, but now Juneau is not on the list anymore. And Icy Strait Point has been completely taken off as well as changes to the other ports. You get the idea. That's a lot of changes. And the reason they changed it again is because they had a second problem with their engines. So one is offline and one is working at reduced. And so they can't build up speed. Again, you had to know you were having issues. This didn't, maybe the second one had the problem because you're now concentrating more power on it than because the other one's not working. I get that, but I don't like the fact that all these itinerary changes, and they did at least come up with a secondary offer. So the first cancellation for that first cruising, with the itinerary changes, they said $100, just like Celebrity, onboard credit. To me, not fair compensation for the amount of ports and destinations you're missing when basically the ship is coming into service and it's not ready, because it was the first sailing back. And if you're bringing it back, it's one thing if it's sailing and it breaks down. This one isn't even sailing yet. And so I don't think $100 was fair. But now that the second problem came up on the Crown Princess, well, they're now offering you a 20% future cruise credit that you have to book with Princess, obviously, before December 1st of this year. And it has to sail before December 1st of next year. It's something, but for the amount of itinerary changes, again, for Alaska, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of these changes. I'm not a fan of sending out an email the day before your cruise to tell you, oh, by the way, the ship's not going to make this port and this port or this amount of time, and this thing's happening, and oh, here's $100 onboard credit that you can spend in the casino and lose your money in the casino, and we'll keep your money again. And get this straight. That's a corporate decision. The captain didn't make this decision. The hotel director, the people at the front desk on the ship, the Crown Princess crew did not make this decision. This was made at corporate. Corporate decided to send that email the day before. Yes, it is highly possible that the engine broke down the day before. I just don't think so. That's a pretty big coincidence. And now you have a second generator problem as well. I'm beginning to think that the cruise lines are not doing enough to prepare their ships before they come back into service. They should be going out just like for sea trials of new ships, and they should be ramping up to full speed. They should be testing all the ship systems and everything like that, and then go into service. I know you may be having trouble getting your crew. I know you may be having problems staffing. I know all this. Then delay the opening of that ship. If you can't get the people there and you can't get the supplies there, don't launch the ship yet. And I know you're losing money, but you know what you're losing right now? You're losing credibility with your clients. And I love Princess Cruise Lines. I just came off a fantastic cruise on the Island Princess Panama Canal cruise where the crew went above and beyond in so many ways. I'm on the Majestic Princess in 3 more weeks. So obviously I like Princess Cruise Line. I'm on a Celebrity cruise in July. But man, they're making it hard some days. And I think they need to do more before rushing these ships back into service. Get them ready, spend another 2 weeks if you have to, and then bring it online. But in a rush to meet the season for Alaska, and a rush to meet whatever itinerary is opening up and they can bring these ships in, you got to get them ready, guys. You got to get the ships ready. Because if I sail on your ship and I'm a first-time client and the day before you send me an email saying this port's canceled, we're not going to spend as much time in the Glacier Bay, we're not going to spend as much time in Icy Strait Point, guess what? I'm looking at other cruise lines next time. Whether I had a good cruise on your ship or not, it leaves a foul taste in your mouth. So I think the cruise lines have to do better. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.